Hello and welcome to my review of the iPad Air first generation. If you have an iPad Air, leave a comment in the description how you feel about it. So first things first is the device is crazy thin. As you can see here, it is really stupidly thin. And this means a couple of things, that it is easy to put in a bag or something like that, but the other thing is it does feel like it's too thin, but then the quality of the build of the iPad Air, which is metal and then glass, it does feel really premium. So it's weird, it's sort of a combination between being too thin, so I would like it slightly thicker, but in ways that could be worse. And if you do have something that's a bit thicker, it means that you can have a slightly bigger battery, so you could have even better battery life, which I will go on about a bit later. The iPad Air still has pretty good specs. It has a 9.7 inch LED backlit display with a pixel density of 264, so most pixels aren't visible at all, and it still means the display looks really crisp and vibrant. The chipset is an A7 chip with a 64-bit architecture. Then we have an M7 motion compressor. This means that all your games will run silky smooth and no lag due to the software being optimized for the hardware. Then we have dual band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0 included as standard, and there is an LTE version available for all you people that want a cellular connection. The rear camera on the iPad Air is actually unexpectedly good. It is a 5 megapixel camera with an aperture of f2.4, and it records in 1080p, which is really good, and it comes out really crisp. I was very surprised. I think it's the same camera as one of the iPhones, but I'm really happy that they included such a high quality camera, and it does take really good images and focuses really quickly, even though you won't be taking loads of pictures with your iPad. The front camera on the iPad Air is only 1.2 megapixels, so if you are going to be taking a lot of selfies, it may be better off doing it on your phone or just turning the iPad around. The camera only does 720p footage as well, so it isn't 1080p, so if you are going to be doing FaceTime, Skype or things like that, it's probably not the best choice. You're better off doing it on a laptop, which does have a webcam that is 1080p, so it does look a lot crisper to the other people. Or if you're going to be recording your own videos, I would highly recommend not doing it on this camera. The iPad Air has an absolutely outstanding battery life due to it having an 8600 milliamp battery, and this is a good 3.5 hours of on-screen time on one full charge, and this is because mainly the hardware and the software have been optimized so much for each other that the iPad runs at its optimum processing power, and all the apps close down behind, so it really does improve the battery life. And if you are looking for a device with a great battery life, I would highly recommend an iPad of sort, preferably the larger iPads, the 9.7, because they have slightly better battery life, but most battery life on iPad is absolutely outstanding. One feature that has really impressed me is the speakers that are stereo right here. Normally on the iPad you get one speaker, but on this one you have two, so having two makes it obviously louder, but the sound quality is really rich on these speakers, and I was really impressed with Apple for putting a decent pair of speakers, but the problem is they are side facing still, well, downwards facing, and side facing if you're watching a video in landscape, which isn't the best, but it will do. It is better than having the one speaker, which is really tinny. So here's a few examples of songs that I listen to and sound really good on these speakers. It is really hard to show you how good the speakers are, as the quality is only as good as the microphone, which at this case is a Blue Snowball, which is really good, but still it's a lot better if you listen to it in person, so maybe just go to the App Store and give it a listen if you're near one.
check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up.
The iPad's price is actually really good. For the Wi-Fi only model from Apple, the 16GB model is only £320, the 32GB model is only £360, and for the cellular is, for the 16GB is £420, and for the 32 is £560. So it is relatively cheap compared to the new model, and for the non-cellular it's a really good deal. This is from Apple, so you know it's their own product. iOS 8 is a very solid operating system, but there are a few flaws, such as it not having very many optimized features for the larger screen, which will be coming in iOS 9. Then there is the problem of it being iOS and not having any customization. But apart from them two things, it is a very, very good operating system because of the fact it just works. It simply works. Like all iOS devices, it just works. There's no real problems or issues with it. So there's been no problems trying to get on apps, but there's been a couple of little forced shutdowns, but that's just what happens with app crashes. So overall, I do think it's a really good operating system, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone that just wants a beast of operating system but doesn't want the problems of Android where you get loads of forced shutdowns and restarts, things like that. Overall, I do think the iPad Air is an absolute great deal. If you are looking for that large 9.7-inch display that is really crisp and really nice to look at and to watch videos on or read or anything like that, it is really worth it for the price. But there is also the iPad mini if you do want that smaller form factor. But overall, it is very fast, the camera's not too bad, the front facing camera is quite good, and I haven't seen any lag or anything in the software. So just hopefully when the new iOS comes out, it is absolutely amazing and built for this, for the new multitasking and things like that. And I will be having a different video made about the new software. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you would like to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys here next time at Top Tech Reviews.